CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Naja Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. The all-important weekend is here. It is Father's Day weekend, and of course, everybody wants good weather for Father's Day weekend.
Yes, we want excellent weather, and I think we're going to deliver this time around because we don't have much in the way of a lot of moisture, Naja. So we're going to be taking a look at temperatures that are going to be average for this time of year, but also the precip, the shower chances, the thunderstorms we typically get in the afternoon aren't going to be there for us here. Just flying, fast-moving showers. That's about all this atmosphere can do for us here with very dry air just kind of right on top of us. Now, we've been talking about the Saharan air. It has thinned out a bit. There's still, some influence with that, but it's really the dry air upstairs that just precludes anything from getting going as far as those big thunderstorms we're used to in the summer. Temperatures are right now in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Now, the good thing is that we do have a southeast wind, and so that helps the sea breeze push further inland, right? It gives it that push, and that allows for temperatures even across the interior not to get out of hand. So we're not talking about, mid 90s or anything like that. I think we're going to hold where we're seeing here, upper 80s to lower 90s. Now, plenty of humidity. You can see that when you step outside the car from your AC and your glasses fog up. We're still feeling like the upper 90s, but because the actual temperatures are held down a bit, we're not into those huge triple-digit numbers that require heat advisories. Now, as far as this is concerned, the air quality, again, this is mostly because of the heat that's ongoing and our typical summer pattern here. We're not looking at Saharan air dropping our air quality. As I mentioned, that's really thinned out up above. So that is what we have going. Dry and a warm stretch ahead. That hasn't changed, and that includes Father's Day weekend. We'll check on the tropics as well. Look at these rain chances, so for the next 7 days, right? This is not typical for late or mid-June, I guess we're in here now, 10 to 20%. I don't see anything that's going to kick off any kind of, wet setup for us here. No big lows coming in, no tropical waves, no significant moisture or any lift to get that moisture up into the atmosphere. Otherwise, we can't make rain. Case in point, still for the next 7 days, this is how much rainfall we're expecting. Not much. It is going to be 1/10, quarter of an inch at best. That's in 7 days, and then you see still favoring the western side of the peninsula because of that southeast wind, which will also help us out with temperatures a little bit. Nothing in the tropics over the next 7 days. Things are quiet as can be here in the Gulf, in the Caribbean, and also out in the Atlantic as well. So forecasts are looking good. Check in on tomorrow as we kick off your weekend here on Friday, waking up early enough. This pattern does favor a couple little showers in the morning and overnight hours, but progressively as we get through the day, we actually get drier and bluer skies. So that's going to be nice. And then for Father's Day itself, same deal. We're going to have the same forecast here. A warm start already with temperatures in the mid 80s, and we'll peak in the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. With your next weather 7-day forecast, not much change in the next 7. Temperatures holding right around 90 degrees, overnight lows at 80, and very little in the way of rain.
Ivan, thank you. We are in hurricane season, and the Next Weather team is making sure that you are prepared. You can scan the QR code and find all the tools you need to help you get ready. You can also find our 1-hour hurricane special. We have important information for you and your family this hurricane season. Just go to cbsmiami.com. Now to the crisis in the Middle East. It is intensifying with Israel's ongoing attacks on Iran's nuclear and military structure. You can see the damage from Israeli warplanes and drones, raising the potential for an all-out war between the two countries. Iran quickly retaliated with missiles exploding in Tel Aviv, and it's warning of, quote, severe punishment. This is unfolding as the U.S. is trying to reach a nuclear deal with Iran. CBS News Miami's Morgan Reiner talked to a South Florida native now living in Israel and learned more about this high state of alert.
People in Israel woke up this morning to alerts telling them to stay near protected spaces. And now he told me that people are choosing to stay home, preparing for what's to come. Born and raised in Miami, Milan Ben Yair now lives in Israel.
It had a very similar sound of an Amber Alert, where it's very attention-grabbing.
He woke up around 3 a.m. local time Friday morning to this, an emergency alert on his phone. The alert's telling people due to preparations for a significant threat, it's required to follow certain guidelines like staying next to a protected space.
There have been talks for a long time now of Israel preparing to attack Iran's nuclear facilities, and the breakdown in Trump talks, with America and Iran. And so we kind of anticipated that something was going to happen. We didn't know exactly when.
While Iran sent a wave of more than 100 drones already, Ben Yair said everyone is okay.
For now, it seems either the Iranians aren't responding back full power just yet, or what they have sent have been successfully intercepted and haven't reached our airspace yet.
And he said everyone is on high alert.
You know, everybody stays at their house, everybody prepare for what could possibly come. And what's to come, we don't know, but we would imagine that it's quite strong given the attack that the Israeli government made.
People like former ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, posted online saying this attack made America and the world safer. I asked him his thoughts on that.
I think that's very grand language. I think that it's a lot of grandstanding and a lot of, in a way, fear-mongering that Netanyahu has done for a long time with regards to Iran. I think that a nuclear-capable Iran is bad news for everybody. That's an actual fact, at least in my mind.
Ben Yair added that right now reservists are being called in, again preparing for more possible retaliation. In Doral, Morgan Reiner, CBS News, Miami.
Now to the ongoing protests against the ICE immigration raids. Just hours after a federal judge ruled against President Trump's deployment of National Guard troops to Los Angeles, an appeals court temporarily blocked the judge's order. That means the troops can stay in LA for now. The Trump administration says they are needed to protect federal workers and buildings. More than 70 No Kings protests and rallies are expected to take place across the state tomorrow. Here's a look at some of those happening here in South Florida. They're happening in Fort Lauderdale, South Beach, Homestead, and downtown Miami. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office is actively calling for the arrest of former NFL star Antonio Brown. Officials accuse him of attempted second-degree murder. Officials say during a fight at a boxing event last month in Miami, Brown grabbed another person's gun and ran after a man who he got into a fight with. The warrant calls for Brown to post a $10,000 bond and remain under house arrest until a trial date is set. A man has been arrested in connection to a deadly shooting in Southwest Miami-Dade. Alexander Mills is now facing 2 felony charges, including second-degree murder. The shooting happened Wednesday night on Southwest 224th Street. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office says the victim told his girlfriend that Mills had recently threatened to kill him. Authorities say surveillance video captured Mills leaving his vehicle and then shooting at the victim. The Catholic Church is set to canonize its first saint from the millennial generation. Carlo Okutas will receive the posthumous honor on September 7th from Pope Leo XIV. The British-born, Italian-raised teen died from leukemia in 2006. Church officials say during his short life, he spreaded awareness about the faith with a website he created that documented reports of miracles and earned the nickname God's Influencer. Okutas has been credited for 2 miracles for sainthood. The September 7th ceremony will be Pope Leo's first canonization. The hunt for the Stanley Cup is now the best of 3 series. The Florida Panthers headed back to Canada, and that is after a tough Game 4 loss last night in overtime to the Edmonton Oilers. Chopper 4 over the scene as the Panthers boarded their flight this morning at FLL. The Stanley Cup series is now tied with 2 wins apiece. Game 5 is tomorrow. Game 6 is back in Sunrise next Tuesday. Let's go, Cats. When we come back, fighting dementia with high-tech socks. We're going to show you how they might be able to help change lives. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. In today's Health Watch, a robotics researcher has developed a high-tech pair of socks. They could potentially help soften the path for millions of people living with dementia. The smart socks have sensors that monitor stress. They track things like sweat, heart rate, skin temperature, and movement. That data is then sent via Wi-Fi to caregivers, and they can keep track of a patient's well-being on an app. The inventor says his great-grandmother struggle with dementia inspired him to create the smart socks. They're now being tested on patients in the UK. It is finally Friday, our favorite day of the week. Here's CBS News Miami's Lisa Petrillo with something to whet your appetite for tonight's Taste of the Town.
Well, guys, we are in a really charming place here in Little River area. It's Maggi Wine Bar with chef and owner Ivan Barrows.
Hey, how's it going, y'all?
Chef, so tell me about what's the concept here. I'm looking at wine bar it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So here at Maggi, we are very kind of low intervention service, kind of come as you are, come with a group, come with friends, come with your loved one. Choose whatever wine you like. We have red wines behind you. We have some chilled wines, some very unique wines, kind of some staff picks, and then you can have meat and cheese, and we kind of build a charcuterie board for you.
And we're going to walk and show that. So, and you've got a beautiful bar over here, living room decor. And of that wine and cheese that we just bottled, we're going to show the wine later, but this is like a beautiful cheese platter that you can make from that little refrigerator.
Yes, absolutely. So like we've mentioned earlier, you can pick whatever you'd like, and then we plate it up for you. We do what we like to call the Maggi plate. We use local bread from Ficelle Bakery in the Miami River, and then we plate it up with Kalamata olives, fig jam, cornichons.
Pasta nights on Wednesday. You have a happy hour from 6 to 7 every night.
Yes.
$35 all the wine you can drink.
Yes.
Lots going on here at Maggi Wine Bar. I'm Lisa Petrola. We're going to tell you much more on Taste the Town coming up on CBS News at 5:30. We'll see you then. Let's get drinking.
Let's do it.
Mark your calendars. The 68th Grammy Award show will air on CBS on Sunday, February 1st, 2026. The nominations will be announced on November 7th. The Recording Academy has announced several changes moving forward, and that includes a new category for Best Album Cover. Very cool. Before we go, you are invited to a big birthday celebration at Zoo Miami. Goliath, the zoo's Galapagos tortoise, is the oldest animal at the zoo. He will be 135 years old on Sunday. You heard that right, 135 years old. Sunday is also Father's Day, and that's a special day for Goliath. He is celebrating being a first-time father. On June 4th, his mate, Sweet Pea, welcomed a tortoise hatchling. Well, that does it for the CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a wonderful Father's Day weekend.